నిపుణులైన మా ఫ్యాకల్టీ అందించే కెరియర్ గైడెన్స్ వీడియోస్ కోసం ఇప్పుడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి S&S యాప్. ఈ యాప్ మీ చెంత ఉంటే ఇక మీ భవిష్యత్తు బంగారుమయం. కాంటాక్ట్ 8070555777.
Hi students, welcome to S&S online classes. This is Vijay sir. In this particular video, Staff Selection Commission has notified more than 25,000 plus posts which are nothing but the GD Constable, General Duty Constable. So related to this post, there are 4 categories. Among the 4 categories, one of the important category where we can score marks easily is nothing but general awareness. So in the general awareness, there are various subjects. Among those, one of the important subject where we can score marks very easily is nothing but biology. Since the question paper is going to be given either in English or in Hindi, definitely all the aspirants has to prepare only in English or in Hindi medium. But in our Telugu states, so it is very convenient for us to prepare this entire syllabus related to the General Duty Constable in English. Why? Because one of the languages, because 25 marks is there for languages also. So for that we have to select English language only. So there also there is a chance for you to score maximum marks if you can prepare completely in English medium. Okay, so now in this particular class we shall take one of the important topic from the biology, because if you just refer the previous questions, so number of questions have come from one of the important topic, that is nothing but vitamins. So in this vitamins also we shall discuss one of the water soluble vitamin, that is nothing but vitamin C. Right? Now if you take here, generally for our growth, okay, generally for our growth and developmental processes we require nutrients. Okay, so here my dear students, remember all these topics related to the GD Constable we have to cover, or we have to take the content which is given in the NCERT syllabus. Okay, since it is a national wide conducting exam, so definitely we have to prepare based on a CBSE syllabus. So that's why I am going to cover only those points which are given in the CBSE textbooks up to 10th class level, right? So that we have to keep in mind, and while you are preparing also, even in other subjects also, this point must be there in your mind, right? Now here, for our growth and development, in order to increase in the size, in order to perform any activity, we require nutrients. So these nutrients are nothing but the chemical compounds that releases energy, for our growth and bodybuilding. Right? So we require energy for our growth and bodybuilding. So these nutrients, depending on their quantity of intake, how much quantity you are taking, based on that the nutrients are divided into 2 types. One is macronutrients, another one is micronutrients. Okay, so macronutrients are the nutrients which we require in grams, Micronutrients are the nutrients which we require in milligrams. That means we require them in small quantity. So either in milligrams or we can say in micrograms we require these micronutrients. The macronutrients includes carbohydrates, right, proteins and fats. For micronutrients, examples are nothing but vitamins and minerals. Right? Now, let us take these vitamins. So, vitamins were, if you take, so these vitamins are the micronutrients. In fact, these are the essential micronutrients. These are the essential micronutrients. Essential micronutrients. Okay, which we require in milligrams or micrograms. Now, a scientist called Duramond, has classified these vitamins into two categories. Okay, so one is water soluble vitamins, another one is fat soluble vitamins. Okay, so once again, based on the solubility, the vitamins are classified into two categories by a scientist called Duramond. Okay, now related to the vitamins, one more important scientist we have to remember first, that is nothing but Casimir Funk. Okay, so Casimir Funk is the scientist who is considered as father of vitaminology. So the study of vitamins is called vitaminology, and this man, nothing but the Casimir Funk, he is the first person to describe the vitamins. That's why especially one of the B complex vitamin called vitamin B1 was first clearly explained by this man Casimir Funk. That's why he is called father of vitaminology. Okay, and if the question is asked who discovered vitamins, definitely you have to answer Casimir Funk. Now here the another bit is who classified vitamins. Okay, who classified vitamins? So there is nothing but Duramond has the scientist who classified the vitamins into water soluble and fat soluble based on the solubility of the vitamins. Okay, so in which components they get dissolved, based on that they have divided the vitamins into two categories. Right? Now if you take these water soluble vitamins, in the water soluble vitamins we have got B complex and you have got vitamin C. Whereas under fat soluble vitamins you have got vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. Right? Now let us take first this vitamin as C vitamin, which is nothing but the water soluble vitamin. Okay, so this is the vitamin where we are going to concentrate in this class. Right? So if you take this vitamins C, so he is nothing but the Casimir Funk. So the vitamin C was first explained. Okay, vitamin C or regarding vitamin C. So this is the one of the important bit that you have to remember, which is directly taken from the NCERT textbook. Okay, so what is that bit means? So the scientist who described or the scientist who suggested citrus fruit, the scientist who suggested citrus fruits in order to cure a disease called scurvy. So the scientist who described a factor or a component or a substance that is required for the curing of an important disease called scurvy is nothing but James Lind. Okay, is nothing but James Lind. So this James Lind in the year 1747 for the first time he described that because of the intake of citrus fruits we can cure a disease called scurvy. That's why another important general bit, the first discovered vitamin or the first described vitamin is nothing but vitamin C. The first described vitamin is nothing but vitamin C. That is the point you have to remember. Right? Now if you take this vitamin C, the chemical name of vitamin C is The chemical name of vitamin C is ascorbic acid. The chemical name of vitamin C is ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid. So this ascorbic acid is the chemical name of vitamin C. Now there are certain alternate names for this vitamin also. So let us take what are those alternate names. One of the important alternate name of this vitamin C is nothing but alternate names. Okay, so once again remember my dear students, since the question paper is going to be given either in English or Hindi, so completely we have to prepare this in English medium, so that we can score marks maximum. That's why I am explaining the topic completely in English, right? Now one of the important alternate names of vitamin C, the first one is vitamin C is called anti-scurvy vitamin. Okay, vitamin C is called anti-scurvy vitamin. Next, vitamin C is also called urine vitamin. It is also called urine vitamin. And why it is called so like that, I will tell you. Next, the third alternate name, vitamin C is also called heat sensitive vitamin. Okay, it is also called heat sensitive vitamin. So anti-scurvy vitamin, urine vitamin, heat sensitive vitamin. Next, another name for vitamin C is nothing but, the vitamin C is very popularly called anti-cancer vitamins. So in fact there are three vitamins which can act as anti-cancer vitamins. One is vitamin A, chemical name is retinol. Second one is vitamin C, chemical name is ascorbic acid. And the third one is vitamin E, which is nothing but tocopherol. Okay, so out of these three anti-cancer vitamins, one of the important anti-cancer vitamins is nothing but vitamin C, right? So these are the alternate names. Now let us take one by one. Why is it called anti-scurvy vitamin? So because this is the vitamin which is acting against the disease called scurvy, right? So that's why it is called anti-scurvy vitamin. Next, why is it called urine vitamin? Because this is the only vitamin regularly excreted through urine. So important bit again from the NCERT textbook. Okay, so which vitamin is regularly excreted through urine is nothing but vitamin C. Since this vitamin C is always present in the urine, regularly it will be sent out through urine. So this vitamin C is particularly called as a urine vitamin. Here the students may get one more important doubt. What is that? Sir, all water soluble vitamins generally dissolved in water. That's why usually when we excrete urine, definitely through urine these water soluble vitamins will be sent out. Yes, no doubt. But here whether you take or not, okay, generally if you take the B complex vitamins, there will be excretion through urine. But here in our regular diet we may have either tomatoes or tamarind or anything. So any citrus species if you take, definitely high quantity of vitamin C will be supplied to the body. That will be regularly, okay, continuously. Whenever you excrete the urine, definitely vitamin C is present in that. That's why this vitamin C is called urine vitamin, right? Next, why is it called a heat sensitive vitamin? So what is the name or what is the meaning of the word heat sensitive? That means it is very sensitive to heat. That means overheating of food destroys vitamin C. That's why it is called heat sensitive vitamin, right? Next, as I already explained about this anti-cancer vitamin. Okay, so these are the alternate names of vitamin C. Then what is the role played by vitamin C in our body? Okay, so one of the important roles here played by this vitamin C in our body is nothing but the first one. Vitamin C is required for the synthesis of an important protein called collagen. Okay, so my dear students, here remember another important bit. The protein which is abundantly present in the human body is nothing but collagen. Once again, the protein which is present abundantly in the human body is nothing but collagen. So this collagen is one of the important constituent of ligament and tendon. Okay, so what is meant by ligament? Ligament is nothing but the connective tissue that joins two bones. So two bones are joined together with the help of an important tissue called ligament. Next, what is meant by tendon? A tendon is nothing but another tissue that join muscle with bone. Okay, so between two bones, ligament. Between muscle and bone, tendon is present. But in the ligament and tendon, what is the important protein means? Collagen, right? So this collagen is very much required for us, and this collagen protein is synthesized only in the presence of a vitamin called vitamin C, right? Next, another important physiological role played by vitamin C is nothing but this vitamin C helps in healing of fractures. Okay, healing of fractures. So what do you mean by a fracture? A fracture is nothing but a bone that is broken. Okay, so the bone that is broken is nothing but a fracture. So generally at the place where two bones touches each other or join each other, that is nothing but a joint. So either at the joint place or any part of the bone, if it is broken, definitely it has to be healed. So here remember one more important bit. For the strong bones or for the formation of strong bones, vitamin D is required, right? For the formation of strong bones, vitamin D, nothing but calciferol is required. But for healing of fractures, definitely vitamin C is very much required, right? Next, the third important role played by the vitamin C is nothing but, so vitamin C is very much required for the reabsorption of iron. So what is this iron? Iron is nothing but one of the important component in the hemoglobin. Okay, so hemoglobin, so we can denote this hemoglobin with the letters HB, right? So in this hemoglobin, heme is nothing but the iron and globin is a protein. So that means hemoglobin is the combination of a protein and an important mineral called iron. Okay, so for the reabsorption of iron, which vitamin is required? Iron is required. As I already mentioned, I am strictly confined to NCERT syllabus. Okay, so that's why I am taking only those points. I am not deviating or I am not taking any point from other than NCERT textbooks, right? So these are the key points that we have to remember regarding the physiological role played by the vitamin C in the body. Okay, now the disease, because of the deficiency of vitamin C, we will get a disease called scurvy. Then what are the symptoms in the scurvy? So generally, if you take the symptoms of scurvy, generally there will be bleeding of gums. Generally there will be rupturing of numerous or minute blood capillaries which are present beneath the skin. Okay, sometimes the fractures may not be healed for a long time. Okay, there may be deficiency of iron. So all these symptoms generally we can see in a disease called scurvy. Okay, since this vitamin C, even if you take a high quantity also, it is not going to create any problem in the body. Why? Because regularly it will be excreted through urine. That's why you can take as much as you can vitamin C per day, right? Then this vitamin C richly available or abundantly present in Indian gooseberry. Indian gooseberry. So this Indian gooseberry nothing but amla. We can commonly called as a usiri. Okay, so the big usiri, you know, so in that high quantity of vitamin C is present. So that's why the richest and best source of vitamin C is nothing but Indian gooseberry or amla or usiri. Okay, then the cheapest source of vitamin C is nothing but guava fruit. Okay, so this guava fruit nothing but jamakaya. So it contains high quantity of vitamin C, right? So these are the important points that we have to remember related to this vitamin C, which are taken directly from the NCERT textbooks, my dear students. Okay, so since we are in this video, we are concentrating particularly on vitamin C. Okay, so now I'm going to end the class. So remember once again, this SSC Staff Selection Commission GD Constable exam is completely in English medium, okay, or either in Hindi language. So Hindi is little more difficult for us. That's why I suggest you to take English, right? So, and don't get panic here. Since it is English medium, we are unable to answer these questions, and since it is in English medium, we cannot crack the question paper. So basic level English only used here. So just mere concentration is required here, so that you can crack easily and you can get the post, right? So once again, I wish you all the best who are preparing for this exam.